planner has done an amazing
Yes, I
job
do
on
too.
this project.
All right, so
I'd like you to comment, Mr. Mistretta, on your experience and how beneficial all the amenities and things and the work that you did on this project.
I apologize. I probably should have mentioned in my testimony that what I'm showing you tonight is a culmination of a 4-year process of negotiations that I've been involved in. When this project first came in and I was first asked to get involved in it, it was 225 total units. Over a series, it didn't happen easily, but over a series of hearings, meetings, and negotiations and so forth, we went from 225 total units down to 165 total units. And on the flip side, that's why we use redevelopment, because I wanted that flexibility to require full RSIS parking, the amenities inside, outside of the project, wrapping the whole entire project with architectural detail and building materials of a very high level that I normally will not be able to get if you go under a standard zoning ordinance. So there's a lot of, and then I could go on and on, it's all built into the redevelopment plan about the off-track improvements and the traffic studies and so forth, but, so I just want to make it clear, and I apologize, I probably should have done that earlier. Tonight is the culmination of 40 years of working on this one site and bringing the project from 225 units down to 165.
As I said, I've been serving almost 6 years, and this has been always in the plan to come forward, because we have to comply with the Constitution. If not, then they could sue us for millions. Do you really want to get sued for that much, this town? You're going to cost your taxpayers a lot more money. So that's what I'm saying.
I disagree. Okay, I disagree. I don't think it'll get to that point. If it does, I welcome it, because I've read some of the articles that our council has forwarded to us, and one of them said when it went that far, the council members said it was money well spent. So sometimes you do have to draw a line in the sand.
Okay.
And sometimes you just have to stick for yourself.
I do understand what you're saying. I mean, but who's going to come up with a better deal than that? If you could get somebody to come up with a better deal than, from 365 to 165, go at it. But I don't think you're going to be able to do that.
All right.
I do have a question. Mr. Strzok. You say we have, how many, we're obligated to how many units? 25, you said, or 30, 31? And we have credit for 6?
There's 25 in this project. There's 25 affordable housing units intermixed in this project.
Okay. That's our obligation.
No.
Is that our final obligation?
No, our obligation is 354.
So this is only the first step, and
Absolutely, absolutely. This is the very first step. Our responsibility is to put together a plan that satisfies our entire obligation.
so this is going to keep on going.
Well, this will, and
You're
correct
going
me
to
if
go
I'm
from
wrong.
165 and you have that obligation.
This will shield us from a lawsuit.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I understand the lawsuit.
And yes, it can be,
But
it's
we're
going
going to
to,
keep on,
This is not our only responsibility.
This is what the-
365 units, that's what our responsibility is.
But remember,
If you
well, no, that's what I want to
you
ask.
look at Cranford, look at Roosevelt Park, look at all the development, Garwood, it's all happening all around us. Cranford got sued, lost millions. We're not going to follow the same suit. We've worked over the last couple of years to get the best thing that we can for this town with this development.
Now, who picked that area as a common development?
Because the person that owns it wanted to have it
the
developed.
developer brought the property forward.
What happens if the developer comes in, he does his thing, go, look, this is costing me too much money for cleanup and everything else, I'm out. What happens after that?
Our responsibility is to adopt the redevelopment plan, put the zoning in place.
we filled our obligation.
That's,
Let's say they can't clean that area up. That's been in freaking tow yard for I don't know how many years.
again, our responsibility at the end of the day as a borough is to put the zoning in place to address our constitutional obligation. How we do that, it's a voluntary basis, as long as we cooperate.
Or what if somebody backs out?
Then they back out.
And they back out.
No, that's, we're not involved in construction.
I understand.
We're going to put the zoning in place for that project. If that project doesn't get built, And if this developer doesn't want to build it, and a different developer comes along and picks it up and moves forward, that's fine. But just like an overlay zone, if we found another site there, our job is zoning. Our job is to put the zoning in place, not the construction component of it, if that makes sense. The developers can change.
So bottom line, we're in for how many units? 300 something units?
Through the
For the whole town.
Howard, the whole town.
And remember, that's a 38-year period. To be clear,
Now, did Cranford get a pilot program in there?
I wrote the redevelopment plan. I represented Cranford for a period of time. I did the Birchwood redevelopment plan. I wrote it. I testified to it. I no longer, to be very clear, represent Cranford, but I also represent Garwood, I'm their affordable housing planner, Scotch Plains, I'm their affordable housing planner, Berkeley Heights, I'm their affordable housing planner, Springfield, Roosevelt Park, I have 15 towns altogether that I represent. I'm only trying to name the Union County towns. My work is predominantly in Union County. I can tell you, out of the 15 towns I represent, this is my hardest client because I don't have a plan, I don't have a project, I'm exposed. This has been going on since 1987. It's through, so we're talking about a 38-year period.
I've been reading about Mount Laurel for years.
Yeah, and we have been over decades, we have been supposed to be chipping away and pick up a couple units here, a few units here, a few units there. It hasn't hurt. So what that does is it creates a little bit of a problem for us because the number's not going away. It's a voluntary process. We have an opportunity to start that process and take a big step forward and get into good graces of fair share housing, the special master, and the court. Right now, we're not in great shape. This is one step. I don't want to kid anybody. You're right. This is only one project. There's a lot more work that has to be done. The one part that I would stress is that you want to maintain control of your destiny. You want to maintain control of your municipality. How it looks, zoning, densities, and so forth.
So this is just for council. You develop that area. Then you go to the Navy United Crane, you take that out, and then you just march up to Michigan Avenue.
You might march down the Flexi Band too. You might march anywhere. You might march on the Turtles property. Who knows? Until we don't know where.
National tool.
What we've done in other towns, and I've done it in all the towns that I just listed, we've put in what's called an overlay zone. It sits on top of your existing zoning and provides an incentive. Because every municipality in Union County has areas that, we're aging. A lot of our buildings are getting older now, they're outdated, they're becoming dilapidated, and we're trying to, take the energy that's allowed under the redevelopment law and combine it with our housing application and bring in new ratables, new buildings, and so forth, and address our obligation. And redevelopment allows you that flexibility to do it. There's only one thing I really want to stress is you want to maintain control of the process. At the end of the day, that's the only message that I really want to send home. You want to maintain control of where it goes, what it looks like, so you allow your town to further develop as governing body wishes. I think that's the big...
Mayor.